Popular children's toys have been banned for safety issues, including snap bands, hoverboards, and buggy balls. Below are the 10 toys that were banned for being dangerous. Number 10. Toothpick Crossbow. China 24 News Network had one major headline for several days: Toothpick Crossbow banned amid safety concerns. It was a kiddie's toy that could pierce even through soda cans. It was a crossbow toy craze throughout Chinese schools, as kids everywhere wanted to own a toy that every other person seemed to have. It was also very cheap to get, as it was sold for just 6 yuan. These crossbows were made to shoot out toothpicks, which is bad enough. Who thought this was a good idea? Seriously. It didn't take long before parents started to complain. A 10-year-old Chinese schoolboy had his eyes seriously injured by the toy. The government reacted quickly by completely banning the toy and ordering all retail stores selling the toothpick crossbow to remove them from their shelves, which is definitely such a good idea considering. Number 9. Hannah Montana Card Game. It's just a card game. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen, you say? Little Molly going bankrupt for playing poker? Well, sometimes dangerous things don't appear dangerous, and they can also come from unlikely places. And this Hannah Montana card game contained a harmful chemical that proved to be very dangerous for kids. Toy companies were allowed to use the lead chemical in their toys, but to a limited amount that would not cause any harm to the kids. Yet, the Hannah Montana card game contained 75 times the amount of lead allowed, which caused poisoning, rashes, and sore throat to kids who had the toys. It was exposed during a mass expose of the amount of lead used in making kids' toys. This caused over 6 million Hannah Montana card games to be recalled and banned, and may they never make a comeback. Number 8. Fisher-Price Power Wheels. Ever heard of that nursery rhyme? The wheels on the bus go round and round all through the town. Yeah, well, this particular wheel must have had an experienced driver riding it. The Fisher Power Wheels did not have that. It's a toy car modeled in small sizes to fit small bodies. It would probably be a great surprise to wake up on your birthday and have something like that waiting with your name on it, especially when you're just 6 years old. But the Power Wheels wouldn't stop, even after the brakes had been applied. This caused a lot of it to crash, with parts coming apart, bruised bodies, and even broken limbs to their small drivers. Some of the models had battery problems that caused their engines to overheat and cause a fire. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission fined Fisher-Price $1.1 million and banned the Power Wheels in 2001. This has to have been one of the worst designs, and one Fisher-Price probably wants to forget about. Oops! If you think these were dangerous, things are about to get worse. Keep watching to see what's next. Number 7. Water Wiggles. On number 7, we have the Water Wiggles. Do you know that Water Wiggle toy from Wham-O? The one that looked like a big plastic worm on a string. Yeah, that one. It may have seemed like innocent summer fun, but if you had strong water pressure in your neighborhood and some prankster decided to turn the hose on full blast, things could get dangerous real quick. The Water Wiggle would dance and bob around erratically, and before you knew it, it could wrap around you like a boa constrictor. One thing you might not have known was that the plastic head was heavy, so when it's waving around in the air, it goes wild. It could easily cause a black eye or chipped tooth if it hit you in the face, but it was all worth it for some summer fun, right? Who didn't love chasing after the Water Wiggle and trying to grab it? It was like a game of cat and mouse. Number 6. Aqua Dots. Remember Aqua Dots, that craft toy that was all the rage a few years ago? Well, it turns out it was a bit of a toxic surprise. You see, it was discovered that the toy contained a chemical called 1,4-butanediol, which when swallowed made kids really sick, like ER department sick. Yikes! Aqua Dots were quickly banned from store shelves, and many parents were left wondering how they could have missed such a dangerous toy. But hey, at least we learned that just because something's labeled as a craft toy doesn't mean it's safe for kids to play with. On a lighter note, I'm sure some of us can remember the days of trying to make the perfect Aqua Dot design, only to end up with a big mess of beads all over the floor. It was like trying to herd cats, but with beads. But hey, at least we didn't end up with a dangerous toy in our hands. Number 5. Fingerlings. They were all the rage a few years ago, but unfortunately they were banned for being a choking hazard. Can you believe it? These cute little finger-sized monkeys were causing kids to choke on their small parts. Kids put everything in their mouths, but come on, these were marketed as toys for kids as young as 5. Guess the lesson here is always check for small parts for little kids, or better yet, just stick to the good old-fashioned wooden blocks. They may not be as fancy, but at least they won't end up in the emergency room. Number 4. Magformers. Magformers, a popular building toy that uses magnetic pieces to create structures, were banned in 2020 after reports of children receiving electric shocks from the toy. The magnets in the toy were found to be poorly insulated, presenting a risk of shock to young children. Can you imagine being shocked while building your dream castle? Not exactly the fairy tale ending we were hoping for. It's a good thing the government stepped in and banned these toys before any more children got hurt. Look on the bright side. At least now we know that magnets and electricity don't mix. Who knows, maybe this will inspire future inventors to come up with a safer version of magformers. Who doesn't love building and playing with magnets? Just not when it's a danger to us. Starting now, things get even worse. Keep watching till the end. Number 3. Buckyballs. Buckyballs, you might have heard of them. They were all the rage a few years ago. A toy that consisted of small magnetic balls that could be shaped into different designs. But little did we know, they were also a magnet for danger. These magnets were so strong that when swallowed, they caused serious internal injuries, so they were banned, but not before they caused a magnetic mess. They just don't look dangerous at all, do they? Buckyballs may have seemed to be harmless fun, but as it turns out, they were anything but. Lessons have been learned with kids' safety, and if it's recalled, there's always a good reason. Let's make sure the only thing kids are playing with are safe toys, so we stay out of VR. Number 2. Hoverboards. Hoverboards, also known as self-balancing scooters, were all the rage a few years ago. Everybody wanted to ride on these futuristic-looking boards, but they turned out to be more dangerous than we thought. The problem was with the batteries is they were prone to catching fire. This resulted in hoverboards being banned from many places, including schools, malls, and even airlines. But on the bright side, it did lead to an increase in the sales of fire extinguishers. Hoverboards were not only dangerous for the riders, but also for the people around them, as the fire could spread quickly. The government had to take action and ban the boards to ensure the safety of the public. The fire risk is bad. Did they not even test these before they got sold? And trust me, one of these running into your ankles, oh yeah, you know that hurts. Well, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Maybe just stick to traditional skateboards or bikes. Number 1. Snap bands. Snap bands, you know those rubber band-like toys that snap back to their original shape when stretched? Well, they were banned a few years ago due to safety concerns. Seems like a harmless toy, right? But it turns out they can be pretty dangerous if they snap back in your face, especially your eyes. Ouch! One time I heard of a kid who got hit in the eye and had to go to the emergency room. Let's just say it's not a good look for any kid to have a black eye. It's always important for parents to check out kids' toys and to check for any safety warnings before they buy them. But let's be real, who wants to read a warning label when you're shopping for toys? That's like reading the fine print on a contract. Nobody wants to do it. So the next time you're out in the toy store and you see this guy whizzing up the aisle on a kid's scooter, maybe that's what he's doing. Honest. Enjoyed the video? Now watch this one.